Sids, have you gotten used to wearing striker blue instead of, Victoria blue and all the like?
Yeah, it's actually it's a bit better than the Melbourne Stars and Renegades, that's for sure. The red and green definitely not as attractive as the blue, so no, looking forward to getting out in the field and playing it.
How did it come about? How did we get you over here to Adelaide?
I think there's a few different things, but I guess my relationship with Tim Nielsen, the boss at Saka and the Strikers, he was my academy coach when I was a young boy, and then when I started playing for Australia, he was the coach. So I guess that relationship, and I actually do love the Adelaide Oval. I've had some success there, and I've always enjoyed playing there. So those sort of two things together, enticed me over, and really looking forward to it.
Were there options elsewhere to continue?
There's obviously still the option to stay at the Renegades, but it was probably good to get a bit of a change, and to play in front of the supporter base that the Strikers have over here. I think that was a massive draw card. The New Year's Eve game's always a monster outing, so those couple of things were definitely helped in making the decision.
And have you found it settling in with a whole new squad and a whole new city?
Yeah, no, it's been all right. I've spent plenty of time in Adelaide in the past, so it's not too much trouble settling in here. I think it was just more getting around the guys and getting used to a different group. But I've played against some of the boys enough already this season, so a couple of the young blokes had smashed us around earlier in the year in the One Day Cup, and we played them about a month ago in the Shield game. So I've spent plenty of time playing against them, but it's nice to be on the same side as them now.
And is there, I guess, the opportunity for you to help the young ones coming through? Do you see yourself as that as well? Yeah,
definitely. I think that's a good opportunity. It's the South Australian group, a very young and up-and-coming group. I think they've shown that over the last couple of years in state cricket that they're developing. They're playing a lot of games together now, and they've got a good core group of players that are developed well. So it's good to be a part of it and play a little small part, hopefully, throughout this Big Bash period and over the next couple of years.
They're making you feel old, Sid. The captain's 23, Ockham's at 22.
Yeah, it does make me feel old a little bit, but I think the energy of the young guys actually makes it a lot more enjoyable, I think. So it keeps me on my toes and having a bit of fun with those younger guys, but it's also good to be alongside them, playing beside them and seeing them develop and seeing them, starting out their careers and coming along as players.
How is the body? You obviously had some issues over the last couple of years. You're 100% now?
Yeah, it is. I've been lucky enough. I did rest the last game, but it was more just a rest because I haven't played a lot of cricket over the last couple of years. I played all the one-dayers for us earlier on the year for Victoria, and then the 4 Shield games back-to-back after that. So it was the 5th one was just genuinely just a rest and get the body right, and be good to go for the Big Bash and the remainder of the season.
What about the test side, mate? Any dreams still there?
Yeah, 100%. I think if I didn't have a dream of playing for Australia again, I might not be still playing. So it's always going to be at the top of the list to try and get back in that side. I think. The boys haven't had a heavy workload in the first few tests, so it'll be interesting to see how they go in Perth. But you never know, like Melbourne, Sydney, there's been talk that maybe I might be thereabouts if needed. So it's just about getting the body right, and I think having that rest the other day will help me be in a good position if that call-up does come.
So there has been some communication to keep you where
there's been bits and pieces, obviously. Yeah, Jackson Bird's been a 12th man for all the tests so far, and Chatty's been around there as well. So there's still a few places to sort of jump to get in there, but it is nice to hear a little bit of feedback that that there's still chance that I'll get that opportunity, and if it's not the end of this series, they go to South Africa later on in the year. So there's still plenty of hope, and it's just about performing well and staying on the park. And I've got the fitness side of things right now. It's just about performing on the field.
I mean, you obviously keep yourself super fit. Watching you bowl in the heat the other day, is that something you pride yourself on? Yeah,
I think it's always been probably my draw card that I could work on, that I could keep bowling out in the middle in whatever heat and conditions, and I think that's always been my go-to. I haven't been the sort of out-and-out strike bowler to take bags of wickets. I've always been the one at the other end, building pressure and taking my time, and sort of like a Glenn McGrath sort of type. So that's how I've played my cricket, and I'll continue to do that. Just stay fit, and I think if I can stay fit and start performing on the field, that my chance will come.
What about your T20 bowling? Sids, everyone's got slower balls and sideways balls and everything going on. How do you fit in there?
I think being able to execute consistently is probably my key. I think I hadn't played a lot over the last couple of years, but to be able to play all the JLT, the One Day Cup earlier in the year for Victoria, I think that gave me a good little good little outing before the Big Bash starting this year, and I bowled in lots of different positions in that, opener bowling through the middle and at the death. So I've been able to try different things. I think my stage is probably going to be the start and the middle, going to be my keys, but I can execute Yorkers and bowl at the death as well. But I think that's the strength of our bowling lineup here, that we've got loads of blokes that can bowl in lots of different areas, and I think that's going to make a great strength for us going against other teams, because they're not going to be able to predict the lineup that we're going to put out at different stages.
So you don't need to come out and have 6 different balls to bowl every over if you Peter Siddle?
No, I don't think so. I think you look at some of the best bowlers, that's how they bowl, and you look at other players and they just go about executing, the 3 main deliveries: bouncer, Yorker, good length, with the occasional slower ball. So it's just about execution, I think, at the end of the day, whether you're a spin bowler, fast bowler. If I can do that 90 to 100% of the time, I'm going to be better off. So I'll keep practicing in the nets here against the boys, and I'll be ready to go by game 1.
Sid's match fixing, have you seen it? Have you experienced it? Is it a concern?
I read the article this morning. That's all I've seen of it. Obviously, I've been lucky enough. I've played a lot around the world and haven't had any troubles in the sides I've played in that I know of.
Yeah.
The threat and the stories are always there that it is happening. But I think if you look at all the stories and rumours that we've had over the years compared to how many have actually been true, I think it's it shows the integrity of the teams and the countries around the world that we are pretty much on top of it. I hope for our sake that it isn't happening in Australia and in our teams, but you just never know. So we'll see how we go. It's hard to say. That's I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah.
From my years of playing in Australia and the teams I've played in around Australia and around the world, that I've never witnessed it and never heard it spoken about. So I wouldn't believe it's happening here.
Do we need harsher penalties?
I think the penalties are harsh. I guess it's about, if it is true, is it happening? Like I said, there's loads of rumours all the time that it is happening, and you put that down to how many have actually been convicted. I think cricket in general are in a pretty good shape. That we're on top of things and controlling it pretty well.
Big Bash pretty heavily implicated. There's never been any moment where you've gone, that was a bit strange.
No, not at all. I think cricket's there's so many variables in our game that even if it's not happening, it can look strange. I think that's the funny thing with our game. It is a tough one, so I don't think anyone from the outside are ever going to be able to see it. And as a player, I've never witnessed it in any of the teams I've played in, any of the games that I've watched on TV or live in action. So I guess it's going to be one for them to determine whether it is happening. But like I said, always been loads of rumours, not many convictions. So I think it shows that we're in a strong place in cricket.
How hard would it be to do? I mean, the article's talking about a particular session and how many runs scored in that session. It would take virtually both sets of players, wouldn't it, to pull something off like that?
Yeah, I think you're probably going to have to ask someone that's done it. I guess they're going to be the ones to be able to explain it from a player that's true to the game and doesn't want to bring it into disrepute. That I can't even fathom how to go about it. I think so I guess you're going to have to try and find one of those guys that have done it and have a chat to them.